Hey everybody, Josh Hanish here with 329, and I just want to welcome you to our webinar. And we are going to be talking about call to actions, or CTAs. CTAs are very important because they are directly tied to the success of whatever it is you're trying to make happen. And I'm going to walk you through a deck that I made that talks about how to build the right CTA, the different types of CTAs, and basically just a funnel in general and how you should use CTAs throughout that funnel. If you don't know what a funnel is, you will find out very soon. So I'm going to share the deck. So what makes a good call to action? So that depends what platform it's on and where in the funnel you are asking it. So if you notice that there's two funnels here, and the one on the left is what we normally see. There really is no funnel. It's just buy now. A lot of our clients that we meet with say our marketing's not working. And I look at their ads that they're running, and all of the ads are asking for someone to buy right then and there. If a client doesn't know who you are, like not even your business name, and they see your ad for the very first time, they're not going to click buy now. You have to prove that you are worth their time and their money. So a good marketing funnel looks like the one on the right, where there's a couple of different segments. The top of the funnel is just get to know us. That is an ad where you're just talking about who you are as a company. And the call to action could be like learn more about us or find out for yourself the difference we bring or see why others love us. And it would take them to a landing page, and it would just be about you. No sales pitch, nothing. And then based off of that interaction, you would serve them a second ad, which is the pink ring. And that's social proof. That's see what others say about us. So the ad itself could have a video of testimonials. And then the landing page is just more social proof. And you could add a CTA there where it's like, hey, join our email list, or something that's low level, not buy from us. And then the blue one, the next ring in the funnel, here's a free resource, like value add. And then the last ad that people see can say, let's chat, or book a demo, or buy this service. So we're going to jump into a more detailed funnel and a lot more depth into what a CTA is and like how best to use it. But this is just early on. This is what most people use, and it doesn't work. This is at the very least what a marketing funnel should look like. So CTAs are at every point of the buyer's journey. And to prove that point, I'm going to point out a couple of types of CTAs. There's nonverbal CTAs, which are video play buttons. If you look at a video play button, there's no call to action. Like there's no verbal call to action, but the play button, it is calling you to click on it. So that is a call to action. The links are a call to action. They're underlined, they're a different color. That gravitates, that causes someone to gravitate towards that link and click on it. Icons are not verbal. There's no words around them, but those are call to actions. So call to actions are more than just the letters or words on a button. It's, like I said, a play button, icons, links, and then there's invisible call to actions, which are images. How can an image be a call to action? Well, if the ad is for life insurance, let's say. Our life insurance is amazing, protect your family. And there's a picture of a happy family. The call to action is, don't you want to be like this family? Same for videos. Same for brands. If you think about the brand, let's say Nike, for instance, even without their slogan, just do it, you're watching the Nike ad, the call to action is be active, do your best, go after more. Same thing for Whole Foods. Come here if you want to eat healthy. Come here if you want quality or like the best food. Those brands are call to actions, even if you don't realize it. They are asking you to do something. They are persuading you to do something that you don't even realize. Reviews are call to actions. Meaning, if you see on a website, 5-star review, this company helped scale my company for, 5x or whatever, that's a call to action. The call to action is, don't you want this to be you? And the last point is, a CTA is not just the final act you want your buyer to make. So a call to action, there's different call to actions at different steps in the funnel that we just talked about. And you want to focus on those levels and not just on the final act. So let's talk about your website. Above the fold, so on a website, the first screen that loads, that's above the fold. If you don't know where that came from, it actually came from newspapers. Newspapers are folded in half. And so above the fold is the front page, is the top half of the front page. Same for websites, above the fold. So the first thing that loads. Your call to actions need to be very, very, very clear, because most people only spend a few seconds on the website before they leave. So if you want people to call you, have your phone number there. In multiple spots. We design websites all the time for clients, and we know that people use websites differently. I might always look in the nav bar for what I'm looking for. Some people look in the middle of the screen. So we actually put the desired CTA where we feel like users will see it the most. So it might be in 2 or 3 spots. If you want people to book an appointment, put that as the CTA. So you need to make sure that above the fold on your website, your CTA is very clear. That should be a very direct CTA. Always be selling, but don't always be selling your product or service. What that means is you're always selling your reputation. You're always selling your brand. You're always selling what people think of you. And you can do that on a website very easily. So instead of hitting people over the head, going down your website saying, buy now, buy now, buy now, you are selling by showing social proof, or like download this free resource. So you need to think of your buyer's journey. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But a buyer, for the most part, isn't, especially if they're seeing an ad on social media, they may not be looking for your exact service or product. So you need to sell like the social proof first before you can actually ask them to take action to do what it is you want them to do. All right. Treat call to actions like a relationship. Take your time. Take it slow, be intentional, and don't just go for home base. The clients need to trust you and see themselves working with you before they can take the step to give you what you want. So it's a dance. It is a relationship. It's something where you can't rush it. The more pressure you put on someone to do what it is you want them to do, the less they're going to do it. The more that people can think for themselves that, oh, this is a good idea, the more success you'll have, which is why You need to help people convince themselves. Again, that is through social proof. It's through your brand, how they see themselves in relation to your brand. It's the imagery, it's the videos on, hey, this is what you could be, and they start internalizing that. That last bullet point, all your CTAs should always be in action, and avoid generic ones like learn more. They're boring, it's overused, and most people don't get excited to learn. The action should be intriguing to people. Learning is work to a lot of people. And if they have to do work to like you, they're probably not going to put that work in. But if they're excited and they truly just want to learn more about you because that's what they told themselves after seeing the social proof and the people that they want to be like, then they will do that all day long of their own accord. So I want to talk about the rule of 7. The rule of 7 is widely quoted by marketers, but it's usually forgotten. And that's because we are so excited to have people do what we want them to do. We know our product really well. We know our service very well. And we think, hey, this is the best thing ever. People would be dumb to not do this because we've spent so much time in it. We've spent so many resources developing it. We're the only ones that have that experience. No one else knows all about that. So you have to tell them, you have to show them. So best case scenario, let's assume that your target demographic has seen your name 3 times already. That means that they need to see you 4 more times before they're going to take that action. Want that to sink in for a second. On a good day, most people have seen your brand probably 3 times, which means you need 4 more touches before they're going to do what you want them to do. So take your time, especially with your ad funnel. Don't just run ads that only say buy now. That will fail every single time. And then we have clients that are like, oh, like the ads just don't work. And it's like, well, because you're not setting them up correctly. And then it's hard for us to show the value of running ads because they think it needs to work right away. It could take months. Some business cycles for some products are 6 months. So be patient and make sure that you provide value along the way multiple times before you ask the big ask. So here's the same ad funnel from the first slide, or the second slide, I guess. The title slide would be the first slide. This is just a sample funnel. An easy, just back of the napkin funnel is get to know us at the top, see what others say about us. Here's a free resource, and then let's chat, or buy the product, or buy the service, or book the demo, or whatever that is. But it's a soft way to get people engaged to do what you want them to do. That's minimum, I would say. There are more complex funnels. So here's an example of funnels within funnels. So when you're running ads on social media, you can retarget people. So let's say that someone, so this is the parent funnel. So let's say the parent funnel starts with this. Well, there's conversions off of ads. So conversions are, did the person take the action we want them to, which is to click the button to get to know us. And maybe that takes them to a landing page. Let's say someone saw the ad but didn't click get to know us. Well, then they automatically get put into this sub funnel, or this child funnel. Again, this is the parent, this is the child. So now they get kicked over into this new funnel where you position the user as the hero. So if anyone knows about like story branding, people don't want to hear about you. They don't care about you. They want to know, what are you going to do for them? How are you going to make them feel? Or how are you going to make them successful? So If someone wasn't interested in this first ad, it kicks them over to this ad where it talks about how they will be the hero. And then it runs them through this secondary funnel. Let's say that someone converted here, got to this one, and they did not download the free resource. Well, then it kicks them into this other funnel that the next call to action is see others in a better state after using us. That you wouldn't actually use that as a call to action, but that's the gist of that ad is, okay, you don't want the free resource. I wonder why. Let's show you how better off people are by using us, and then offer a different free resource. And if you notice, there's an email check-in and an email ask to talk. So the funnel doesn't have to stay on social media. Once you have their email, then it can move to email, which is way cheaper. So that's another webinar that we'll have, but email is gold, because once you have someone's email, you can reach out to them time after time after time for pennies versus the cost of running an ad. So anyways, when we work with clients, we set up these funnels and these sub funnels to try to capture as many people and to convince them to reach out and take the desired call to action. So how do you develop good call to actions? You need to put yourself in the shoes of your target demographic and map out the longest buyer journey and come up with a CTA for each step along the way. Why the longest? Well, chances are that's what most people are going to take to get to you. If you just focus on the buy now ad and don't develop anything else, then your ad strategy is not going to work. So think about your service or your product and figure out what is the longest journey. Again, 7 is the average. It is longer sometimes and it's shorter. But if you think about 7 as the number, the first 3 could just be brand awareness ads. And then you get them into like the marketing funnel that actually gets them to, again, buy whatever service or product you're selling. Use AI to generate a bunch of CTAs based off your needs. So if you just go into ChatGPT, you give it some info and you say, please generate, always say please, by the way. You don't know when the robots are going to take over. I'm just joking, kind of. You never know, I guess. I always say please because I've actually read that you will get better results from AI if you're polite with it. If you use AI to generate the CTAs, ask it to create you a list of like 10, let's say, and see what those are. And then you can ask it to generate another list. And then ask others outside of your industry to review your buyer's journey and give honest feedback. So ask your spouse, ask your friend, ask your brother, your sister, your parents, and say, hey, here's what I'm thinking. Where are the holes at? Is this convincing enough to you? All right. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. So that is basically just a quick rundown of call to actions. They are one of the most important pieces of a successful marketing plan. And just remember that call to actions are all around us, and you need to be very intentional with your marketing so that you have the right call to actions, whether they're invisible or nonverbal or words on a button. If you would like to join our email list, you can, to get more insights each month. We just send out one a month. There's no spam. And we provide value around just marketing for businesses. You can also follow me on LinkedIn and see when the next webinar is going to come up, and other knowledge that I put on my LinkedIn to help people who are in charge of their company's marketing or CEOs that are trying to market their company on their own, or just feel like the marketing that they have hasn't been working. We specialize in B2B marketing. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining us, and we will be back next week with another webinar.